Welcome to Season 4 of Championship Culture. I'm Brandon the Guy, and remember, every belt has a story. Now, last week on the premiere episode of Season 4, we were able to look at the International Championship. Now, this belt came about in about March 28th, 2025. We got the announcement, and then we had a tournament. The tournament saw TNA stars such as Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, Steve Macklin, Zachary Wentz, JDC, Eric Young, AJ Francis, Vance Warner, and Sami Callihan all compete. And as we know, the first inaugural champion came out to be Bulletproof Steve Macklin. And from its inception, that belt has been nothing but eye-catching and actually very interesting to look at. But before I get too far into that, let's take a look at this belt. Now, from the pictures, if you look closely, each side plate is a duplicate of the main plate. If you look at the gold behind the globe, that pattern is literally the center plate just put onto the side plate. So if you look at the shape of the center plate, you'll see that shape is duplicated on each side plate, which gives it such a regal look to it. And as Craig Treek from Hellfire Design stated, this belt was designed not to have stones. So unlike the others where there were circles around and it looks like they were indentation for the jewels or stones, there are none here, and it's actually replaced with just a smaller X and a smaller circle pattern. But from a distance you can't tell until you get up close, and hopefully you can see it, that it doesn't look like it warrants any places for stones to be. Love the fact that the globe is represented, because what else has international feel or world feel other than having the globe represented? Just like if you were spinning it around, being able to see the different countries represented on each part of the belt. Within the center plate, of course, the champion banner is at the bottom, and it doesn't warrant for a nameplate or a side plate, because when you have this title, it tells you that I'm a champion of some division. And this division definitely is screaming champion of multiple things, not just of a division, but an international champion. Kind of puts me in a mind frame of intercontinental, international, all those type of things. Words are interchangeable. But I will have to say the side plates, because if you look at the side, it looks like it's a piece of it's been broken off from the main plate, which leads to a very unique design. And of course, the anthem logo for the parent company of TNA is in blue now instead of red to match the blue strap. Now, there's one other tidbit about this belt. Let's explore it. Now, I have to credit TNA for being bold and going with this blue color strap. We've seen that history with strap colors really don't add up very well. A lighter blue like this, I hope that the sweat, the oils, and everything doesn't make this strap discolored, because as we've seen with the blue Big Eagle, we've seen it with the purple Intercontinental, we've seen it when you have strap colors, they kind of seem to not lean towards being good for longevity. Hence why a lot of our belts are now just black and white for the women, and you can replace a white strap if it starts to be discolored, kind of like how everybody was ragging on the IWGP Intercontinental belt, because by the end of his life the strap was looking pretty terrible. But you can visually see on these belts, on black belts, on black straps, you usually normally see cracks and wear and tear. But I just hope that this doesn't become discolored, because it's such a bright belt. TNA generally takes care of their belts. You don't see them really throwing the belts around, doing a lot of belt shots with them. But remember, these are designed to wear around people's waists. So we got to keep in mind frame that when you're wearing it around the waist of somebody that's got body oil or sweating, Sweat and leather normally doesn't mix. Every belt has a story and more. Follow us on Instagram at championshipculture_, and let's find out, because every belt has a story. Can't wait to hear yours. Every belt has a story, and here's the story behind why I have this belt. So, being a TNA fan probably since day one, when I was able to find TNA and able to watch it, the X Division always drew my eyes to it because they always talk about no limits, no weight limits, and things like that. And then, lo and behold, TNA went down the road and made the Legends title with a legend of Booker T introducing that belt. Perfect. Of course, the Legends title went through identity crisis, which most of their other championships seem to go through. Hint, hint, the Grand Champion, changing names multiple times. But in previous episodes of Championship Culture, we talked about the Digital Media Championship and how it felt like it was in the wrong time. So it never really felt like it fit the mold. And even when they rebranded back to TNA, it didn't feel like it fit in that family of belts. It didn't have the same feel. And plus, it was kind of like an identity crisis for that. Like, how do I do this? What do I do? What's the stipulation behind it? So when TNA announced that they were retiring it, I was like, okay, perfect. Are we going back to just the world title, the women's world title, both sets of tags, and the X Division? But then they said, oh, no, we're getting another belt. So the excitement of, okay, how's this belt going to look? And when this belt debuted, the same day I saw the pictures, I hit up the maker that I normally go to for belts and said, have you seen this? I need this belt as soon as possible. Because everything about this belt to me not only screamed TNA, but it screamed that's what a championship should look like. Now, the main plate, of course, is stacked, if you can tell from this picture, which is great. And Craig Tuke from Hellfire Designs actually stated it's pretty accurate as to the design that he made. Now, he designed it, but Zebros physically made the belt. So it's always good to know that a maker that I trust actually kept it as close as possible to it. But Steve Macklin being the first champion seemed like the right choice because he was a former world champion. Who better to put on good matches for TNA, and who better to be a flag bearer than somebody who went to TNA, got a chance, proved himself, and got rid of that whole Forgotten Son aspect. And now he's actually the current and inaugural champion for the international title. Hence why I say, you know what, gotta add this to the collection. Plus, it's a unique color strap. I don't have any belts that are this color blue. Of course, I have the WWE Big Eagle, but that's a darker blue. But I don't have any belts that are this color blue, and it just stands out. If you couldn't tell from the pictures, this belt is awesome, and it's a great looking belt. So there you have it, the TNA International Championship. A great looking design, a great looking belt. I've already seen different people in different belt groups with replicas of it, and I've seen people change the color strap. Doesn't really bother me, still looks cool, but I think that the light blue leans to the uniqueness of this belt, and because it matches the globe so much, I think that that's what adds to the character of it. Every time I come into the belt cave, I look right to this belt. Now, of course I know where it is, but my eyes are automatically drawn to this belt. How do you not like something like this? But with that being said, make sure you comment your thoughts on this belt. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Championship Culture. Follow us on all social media platforms and tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the next episode of Championship Culture. Until next time, keep your eyes on the gold, and remember, every belt has a story, and I can't wait to hear yours. You enjoying the show so far? Good. Go over to Instagram and follow us at Championship Culture _. And don't forget, check out youtube.com/thewrestling room. Look for the playlist for Championship Culture. And remember, every belt has a story.